Hello besties! My name is Kyoseva and I'm a student from Romanian 1 Foreign Language School in Stara Zagora. Today I'll present to you my oratory, Earth, the loneliest place in the universe. But before I begin, there is a trigger warning for mentions of suicide, so proceed with caution. Let's begin. Every great story needs a setting, characters and conflict. Ours is set on a spaceship, approximately 408 kilometers above the Earth's surface. If you look, you might even see it. There you find our two characters, a human from Earth and an extraterrestrial being, or alien for short. The conflict arose when the humans said that they didn't like the Earth that much. What do you mean? Why don't you like it? It seems like such a nice place. The human was staring through the back window, and yes, from up here it seemed pretty nice. But it can get quite lonely, actually. In my speech, I will talk about a familiar feeling, loneliness. First, I will explain what is it and how it can affect us, and then how we can deal with it. I will use a tale of a human and an alien to guide us through different points. Lonely. The alien tried how the word would roll off its tongue. What does it mean? Loneliness is a word that seems to have originated around the 16th century because it was meant to highlight the dangers that shrink from society could have. Back then, people believed that finding yourself in loneliness made you vulnerable without the protection that the public could provide. However, in the 21st century, loneliness, it's not so much about being physically separated from society. It's more of a feeling of being alone, even though surrounded by people. But I want you to keep in mind that this is a subjective feeling. For example, I can go on for days being alone and reading books, while a friend of mine would go insane if she has to be alone for more than 24 hours. It is suggested that different people need different amounts of social interactions. In other words, if you get too much or too little of them, you're either overstimulated or lonely. But today, we will focus on the negative type of loneliness. Okay, but there's 7 billion of you out there. How do you feel lonely? The human has been wondering the same thing for quite some time now. Despite the fact that we're more connected than we have ever been before, loneliness is chronic to millions. And a common misconception is that loneliness experience only those who find it hard to communicate with others. Well, this is a side effect. Population-based research has proven that social skills have little to do with the social connection between adults. For example, you can be well-spoken, intelligent, beautiful, famous, liked, but that doesn't mean you're safe from feeling alone. A study concluded by Joe Griffin, the Lonely Society, says that in the UK, 60% of the adult population often feel lonely. And an ITV News interview reported that a British elderly woman, Janet, can go on for days without speaking to anybody. Okay, but why is it the bad thing? The ex-British Prime Minister, Theresa May, appointed a Minister of Loneliness trying to resolve the growing problem. Because it can kill. In their Journal of Psychology, Kristen Victor and Anne Bowling said that loneliness is twice as deadly as obesity, and according to Cigna US, as deadly as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Once loneliness becomes chronic to you, your body goes into self-preservation mode, which means that you get better at recognizing social signals, but you get worse at interpreting them. The part of the brain that recognizes faces gets worse at realizing that neutral ones are not hostile ones. After starting to see the world as a threat, you begin focusing on your own safety and you start avoiding social interactions. This turns into a cycle which gets worse as times go by. And it might take years, but in the end it will lead to depression, which might cause suicidal thoughts. In 2004, the US Department of Justice reported that because of loneliness, suicide rates have increased by 62% among juveniles. Do you see the problem now? Yes, I do. The planets and stars are so far apart. Do you think they feel lonely too? Hello, guys? Are you okay? But they're planets. So only humans can feel lonely? Why do we feel this way? Why do we crave social interactions and acceptance? Like hunger, loneliness is a bodily function, which is meant to bring our attention to our social needs. Millions of years ago, being surrounded by people meant that you had higher chances of survival, because gathering food, keeping warm, and taking care of offsprings was almost impossible alone. So you had to be a part of a tribe if you wanted to survive. In his study, Loneliness, Joe Kyoseva says that our body evolved and created a certain type of pain meant to stop a certain behavior that would result in us being separated from our tribe. This pain is called rejection. This is why it hurts so much being rejected. Because if it didn't, then it wouldn't have resulted in a change, which would mean that we would be rejected and eventually die. In the past, this pain proved useful, but our world has changed. Today, as we reach adulthood, we're busy with school, university, work, and that one addicting TV show, you know which one I'm talking about. And with our busy schedules, we have to sacrifice something. And usually that is friends. Until one day we wake up and there are no more calls or invitations. I remember sitting at home and staring at the white wall because I had nothing better to do. After changing schools in 7th grade, I had no more friends, or at least it felt like that, because all of my old friends had found new groups. And I was alone. I couldn't stop myself from crying. I felt like Pluto, small, different, and insignificant. Loneliness is the reason why I'm here. The human pointed at nothingness. There has to be a place for a lonely human like me. While our character can go in outer space looking for its luck, we can't, or at least I couldn't. So we have to find different solutions. The first step is realizing that this is a normal feeling that many people go through. After texting my friends, I realized that they were feeling the same way as me. And then you have to realize that, like other feelings, you can't simply ignore it and hope it would disappear. You have to accept it and then get rid of its cause. So I realized that because I was so anxious, people hated me, and that I would think that a change of tone meant they disliked me. I stopped doing that. I realized that my friends might have been just tired. Which leads me to my next point. Stop looking for negativity in every interaction. Look for positivity. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Because yes, many times they can disappoint you. And it's easier to think that they don't like you and that they judge you. But this is a wrong way to go about things. Because people can also pleasantly surprise you. And those pleasantly surprising people are the ones who matter. Because in the end, they might take you on a space adventure with an alien. However, I want everyone to keep in mind that self-reflection is not enough for everybody. So don't be afraid seeking professional help if needed. I will be your friend. I will be your friend too. And slowly but surely, the human found what he was looking for. Connection. As Johnson said in his speech for TED, you're not alone in your loneliness. I want to challenge every one of you right now to text or call a family member or a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. In this day, in these times, it's more important than ever to find new ways to stay connected. You might not be feeling lonely, but you have to make the first step because that person might be. Thank you.